Okay, welcome back to part 4 of this Island Takeover series. And for this episode, I'm going to be covering how to alternate turns between player 1 and player 2, and how to distribute the dice at the end of each turn taken. And it's a little weird because I actually looked at it, and I don't know how they actually distribute it. So I'm going to just kind of take a shot in the dark, and it might be a little unbalanced, but I'm sure I could play with it and tweak it enough to be kind of fair. But I think the way they do it is they use um, they give you a larger number of dice depending on how many tiles you have taken over, or either that or how many dice values you have total. I'm not really sure. I think it's based on number of tiles though, because what I've noticed is that the number of tiles is always whatever side has more tiles. Like if, for example, if I don't even take a turn, nothing. I don't get any. Like I get like a handful of dice. But if the enemy takes a turn and goes through and runs over like all of my tiles, they'll get like 15 dice or whatever. I don't know how many it was, but so I think there is some sort of proportionality there where it gives you more based on how much you took over or how much you um, have. I'm not really sure if it's based on like how much you conquered, or like I said, like it's either based on what did you do this turn? Did you do a lot? If so, here's a lot more. Or if it's based on what do you have total at the end of this turn? Because that's kind of two different things. If I'm conquering a lot, like let's say I have all of this and then I end my turn, but I didn't conquer anything new on that turn, then would I get more because I have more tiles, or would I get less because I didn't conquer as much? If that makes sense. So I don't know. Those are some design questions. We'll see. We'll see how they apply. I really don't exactly know how they did it, so I'll kind of have to just eyeball it. So first, let's decide how we want to actually implement the player swapping. So first of all, let's just add a second button here. Let's just do a button um, end turn and Turk. We'll do end turn, and now where do we want to have this? So we want it to be able to be selectable at any given time. Like it needs to be selectable even if I select both of the or if I select both of these like this, I can still end it and then it'll just cancel the attack. It needs to be selectable, and it needs to swap the player. So then we're gonna have to do some changes, I think, within this area based on I don't know, because I think we did some of them like hard coded the values to be like 1 and 2 or something like that. I don't remember what I did, but it was this part here. I think this needs to change because what happens here? Oh, actually, um, yeah, no. We have to change this because the way this works now is it basically says player one's greater than player two, swap or advance player one. But then if I were to just use P2 here, it would just because if P2 is greater than P1, this is basically talking about on defense. So if P2 is on defense, this is what happens. But that's not the same way it's going to work if P2 gets greater than P1 on attack. So we need to modify some of that later. First, let's just add an end turn method, or end turn button though. I'm trying to think of where we want to put this. So for we don't, I think we could just declare it, yeah, like right near the attack button. So let's just do end turn equals new button. Again, I'm gonna change the graphics and stuff later, but this is it's kind of trivial to do that, so I'm just gonna add the functioning features of the game and then work from there. So end turn equals new button end turn, and then we'll use the same. I'll just have to swap out the name. We'll use the same and then shift the X a little more so it'll be to the side of it. And turn. You know what? Let's actually just do. Do I need any of these? I might need these. No, these are all declared as global variables, I think. Let's try it. Let's see if I can move this to a new method. But the root is not considered. The root is not a global. That is one problem. So we would have to do root.getChildren let's try initialize attack button. This is just to clean up this method. I don't want to throw everything into this one method. It looks very ugly right now. So we'll make a method down here somewhere. Public button initialize attack button. All of that works, and then what we'll do is we'll return. Actually, we can declare this within here, so we'll do the same thing for end turn. So I guess I can just delete that altogether. So we can do button attack. Actually, we could just do it. Yeah, right. Button attack equals new button, and then return attack, and hopefully this works. And then we want to do this in a completely separate location. I'll just copy and paste this for now. Let me just make sure this works real quick. Again, it's just, it neatens up this area. It's already kind of getting too messy. Oh, there's one of the issues. Okay, that's one of the bugs right there. Yep. Okay, cool. So I'll have to fix that at some point. I don't want to go through that in this episode, though, because I don't want to get too sidetracked. But it looks like it works fine, so I think the button's functional. Yeah, that was exactly the situation I mentioned before, where it removes the last one, but the last one is the only touching one for another one. So we'll have to figure that out. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do this yet. End turn button. We'll move this down here. Public button initialize end turn button. It's kind of a long method name, but that's all good. So button end turn, okay, and then maybe we'll set it to like 1080. Let's just give a let's return end turn, and let's just see where we're at here on this positioning. So it's a little close. Do I have something? Oh, that's just something on my screen. I thought there was like some glitch in the text on it, but nope. So let's do maybe another 20 pixels over. We'll see how far that goes. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. So now is the issue. So we'll do end turn dot set on action, and then we'll work from here. Whoops. I'm just going crazy right now. Okay, so what do we want end turn to do? We want end turn to swap the active player. So maybe we'll do, oh, we have player already. Okay, cool. Actually, let's name it, do we need that? If t.getOwner equals player. Okay. That should all be functional. I think all I have to do is actually modify that one method. So we'll do, we'll actually do player maybe as a Boolean? I'm trying to think because there's no way to, I guess you could just do, if player equals 1, player equals 2, else player equals 1. Or I could just do player equals not player if I did a Boolean. But the problem is, then we have this whole issue because I originally how I defined it was I did owner as an integer, and I kind of messed that up. Maybe I'll end up doing more than 2 players at some point, so who knows. So let's just see what this does real quick. So we're doing a player 1 turn here, attack, end turn, and now, whoa, okay, that's the flipping thing, okay. But now I can't select it, so now we just have to work out the issues. Yeah. Now we just have to work out the issues with that, but it does swap players here, so that's good. Okay, so the player gets swapped, but now where's the issue? So let's just look at the case where that was happening, and we'll fix that, and we'll just fix each bug basically one at a time. So we'll do that. End turn. Oh, I pressed it twice. I should probably also have like a little check against that. Okay, wait. What? Oh, there we go. So if I select one and then deselect. So the problem with that is right over t.getSquare. Let's see. Where did I have this at? So if t.getOwner equals player and owner selected, no, we want to do if t.getOwner equals player and owner is not selected. Now that one's fine, I think. Oh, it might be because of the color reset, actually. So if t.getOwner equals player, okay, we do have to, I think we have to save the color somehow. Can you actually make like a color first, or okay, first equals new color? Is that a thing? I don't think so. It is. Wait. Oh no. Okay, so how do I store the color then? What I can do, you can do actually like an RGB value, like color dot RGB red, green, blue, but I don't know that. I want to be able to just save the ones I have here. So I guess we'll do if player equals 1, do that, else do that, and then we'll do the same thing here. Oh wait, hang on. So we have else. So if it doesn't, okay, no, yeah, we could just do the exact same thing, I think. That might be functional, at least for the color resets. So we do that, and turn. Okay, now it does reset. Oh, no, it doesn't. And now that is also considered, okay, so that's still considered your or enemy tile, but it's resetting the color wrong. So if I do this and that, it's resetting it. No. Okay, no. We want to do if t.getOwner, I think. Because player is always going to be the one that you're playing, but t.getOwner is the owner of the tile. Okay, yeah, there we go. So now we have that. Now can I actually advance yet, or is there still more features missing? Oh, I need to find like a better spot. 6v2. So now that shifts forward. However, it swaps the colors. So yeah, now we have to update that. Okay. Ay. This is a nightmare. And we'll also have to add eventually in this end turn method, like the dice distribution and stuff at the end of each turn. But for now, not worried about that. So, we need to modify, I believe, this area. So, because for example, we get to, let's say we select an owner. Oh, actually, we need to check the attack button. We do compare rolls. P1 val equals dice roll. P2 val equals. So P2 automatically equals the enemy. So so if enemy selected and if so again we can do if statements. I'm trying to think if there's any other neater way to do this though. So we can do an if statement and say if it's P1, then P1 val equals this. If you're player 2, then P2 val equals this. Or we could also just alternate them, I think. Let me think this through. So we might be able to just set the current player to player 1 every time. So let me just run through a process here. So if the owner equals the player, the current player, and the owner is not selected, and the value of the tile is greater than 1. Let me just make sure that works. I actually haven't tried that. So, yeah, okay. Then it selects the owner, and the selected one equals the tile you're at. Okay, that's great. And then this is all the other stuff. Let's not worry about that yet. And if t.getOwner is not equal to player and owner selected, and T dot is adjacent. This is for selecting an enemy. Then you set the enemy to the other one. Okay, so we have, so there's no like discrepancy there. The enemy, it considers this as the owner, and it considers this as the enemy, or this is the enemy. So there's no discrepancy there. It's the problem is how I'm actually dealing with the owner and the enemy. So, I believe all we need to change, I think, is in the compare roles here. So, or actually in this, the way we pass it in. So, if P1 val. So I'm trying to think how I did this. So the issue here is I attack. Let's find when I can win. 6v3. And I didn't lose that. No, I definitely did not lose that. Okay, I was going to say. So 6v3, and it resets this tile, and that's because of this condition here. Because this is considering it a defense, quote unquote. So we need to do something a little different. Maybe we can just actually encase all of this in a... See, what I was thinking I could do, if player equals 1, we do all of this. I'll put brackets around it. And then if player equals 2, we do a parallel thing, but with the second player. However, I want to make this so I don't have to double my code. I want to try to do this concisely. So enemy.setOwner maybe to player we'll do instead. Selected.set dice val to 1. We don't need this. Selected.set dice val, no, that's fine. Okay, so that might work. Well, that might fix it. That might fix some issues here. This works, right? Let me just make sure. Let's do that. 5v1. That does work. Okay. And then let's say I want to do a 6v3. That does actually advance it. Okay. Let's try to do one that I would lose. So let's do like a... trying to find one that's 2v5. So that just reduces it to 1. Did that actually... Am I done? I feel like I shouldn't be done here with this. I feel like there's something I'm missing. That might be it, honestly. And then end turn, and then I can go back with this one. I can't attack with those anymore. I think that's good. I honestly think it's working. I don't know. 6v5. Ooh. Alright, end turn, and then I can move back and start attacking with these guys. Wow, it worked. I think that's it. Like, I'm not gonna, maybe I'll run into some errors eventually, but I honestly, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a case. So we can go like that, and that still resets the colors fine. Go like that. End turn. We can go like that. I think it swaps between players fine. So we also want to have maybe a little display in the corner that just says, hey, this is the player right now. So let's actually add a we'll do just a text, I guess. Text player display. I guess I could initialize it in no, I think it's fine where it's at. So then we'll do we'll actually update this to say if player 1 and then player display dot set text to player 2 turn. Else? Why did that else indent like that? Don't do that. That's annoying. Player display dot set text player 1 turn. And then what I'll do here is add it to, we'll just do let's make a root dot get children just to be consistent. Dot add initialize player text just to be consistent with it. I don't really have much to add to this. It's just gonna be like a little bit of formatting, but I don't know. It's nice to just do it somewhere. Public void. Actually, no. Public text. So actually, we would actually much rather do. We don't actually need this initial. We kind of do need player display. No, wait. Because we need to call it from somewhere else, though. That's the problem. So we might need to keep it global unless I could pass it in to the attack button, but or pull it. I don't know. I guess I could make like a helper class where I could pull all this data from and not have to have it all as global variables, which would probably be a much smarter method, but you know, I like to live life on the edge. So, actually no, we'll do public void. Oh no, I can't do void because I have to return it. So, yeah, I guess I can just return the global variable. That's ugly, but hey, it works. Player text, and then we want to say player display dot set translate. Let's actually do it here. Let's just copy and paste this. So we want to have the same translate y. So we'll do player display player display. We'll also do player display dot set text to player one turn, and then we'll set the translate x to maybe like 200 or something. I don't know. Then return player display. That's at least for formatting, I guess. It's does it not like that? I don't think it likes that I'm returning a. Yeah, okay. Oh, no, it's because I didn't initialize it. So what I'll do is do new text. And also, I think I'll just add. Let's just do it like this. Initialize player text, and then we'll just do add player display, so I don't have to return it. I'll just use it as like a formatting method, kind of. I did not mean to put this down here, by the way. This is way out of position. We'll do it up here, above the start, just to keep it, again, consistent with the formatting. Just keep all the start and the main at the bottom, basically. Oh, my nose is itchy. Okay, so we don't return player display anymore. We actually just want to return nothing. And then that should work. Player one turn. Again, it's formatted terribly, but it's functional for now, and that's what matters. I'll get like the cool fonts and the cool buttons and everything. Get all that set up, but it's like not hard work to do. It's not like anything like I have to show anybody. It's kind of just like, okay, so it swaps between players each time. Perfect. So now I'll know every time when I'm trying to click, I can't attack myself. I'm so used to testing it with the player one that I'm just used to green being like the one I'm attacking. All right, but that's cool. And then also, I could program AI to basically just turn on whenever it goes to player two. So I think I could do AI, but we'll see how big I decide to go with this. I don't need this anymore. That was when I was thinking through. So now the issue is to distribute the dice. How much time do I have? Let me just make sure. We're like 24 minutes in. Okay, so let's just think through how we're going to do this, and if I don't have enough time, I'll just cut it, and then... Why is this... Color, no argument. Oh, that was when I was typing the color thing, and then it... Wait, so can you do it? Color n equals new color purple? I don't know. Or I don't know. new color, purple, something like that. I don't know. All right, doesn't matter. So how do I want to distribute these dice? So what I want to do is total up the number of dice that each side had, or the side that ended their turn, because each time it doesn't do it for both sides, it does it for one side, the one side that's ending their turn. So we want to total up the number of tiles. Let's say, where is this? So we might actually need to move tiles outside, like, completely, because we need to be able to access this unless we do something else, some other wonky. Because basically what we need to do is total up the number of tiles that player 1 has, and then give them enough dice according to what they have. So we need to be able to total up the tiles, but the problem with that is obviously the totaling part. What we could do is no, I was going to do for the attack button, I was going to do it, but I realized the attack button is now in its own method, so I don't want to be passing in the information, because I could just update it each time, because we already know how many tiles they have to start. We know that they have, where is it at? We know that they have, there's P1 tiles or whatever it's called. Yeah, P1 tiles, P2 tiles. I need to sneeze. Okay. So all we need to do is get that information and then increment it each time there's a successful attack. So maybe what we can do is something like public int get P1 tiles, return P1 tiles, public int get P2 tiles, return P2 tiles. So now we can get that information from there, so we know what they start at always. And then we say, maybe we should actually have a tile increment thing as well, because we don't really need anything here anymore. I'm trying to think. So, because what I was thinking was that I could just, since we already have the array list here, we could just increment the number of tiles, and since we already have P1 tiles and P2 tiles stored here, we don't have to make another variable in the main in order to count these as well, because we already have variables that count these. But it's also in the tile generator class, so it would be kind of weird to have to call it. But let's try. Let's just say public void increment P1. My only issue, no, that's fine, okay. Increment P1, and then we'll just do P1 tiles plus plus. Public void increment P2. P2 tiles plus plus. What I was going to say is that, I don't know, I just lost my train of thought. So let's just throw these outside as globals, even though I kind of hate that. But I feel like we kind of need to. And then we'll also do this outside, and hopefully this won't break anything. Sometimes the program, or sometimes Java's kind of weird with like globals and statics and all that. Oh, I need to burp. Okay. So this looks functional enough for now. Yeah, it looks like everything's working fine. Okay, so where was I? So we have the tile generator. Now what we can do is, if successfully conquered, we can simply do in compare roles. We actually have to do this. So we'll do, if P1 greater, then we'll do TG dot increment. Oh, okay. So we need. So actually, you know what we'll do? We'll just pass in. We'll pass in the value of the owner. So instead of doing this, we'll just do, or instead of doing this, we'll do increment tiles. owned tiles. And then we'll do int own, or int o, because I think I already have an owner, so just to be sure. And then if o equals 1, do p1 tiles plus plus. If, or I guess we could just do else here, p2 tiles plus plus. Okay, so now what we can do is just pass it in and say tg.increment own tiles player, and now we know which player it is. So if it's player 2, it'll increment the player 2 ones, and I don't have to do a bunch of weird stuff with it. So now we have the values for each one, and now we need to basically randomly distribute the numbers across the tiles with the same ownership, basically. So, well, let's just do a test run and say system.out.println tg.get. You know what? Let's just do get tiles as well. We don't even need to do get p1 and get p2. Let's just do get. We got to do get own tiles, I guess. This is just a mess. Int o, and then if o equals 1, return p1 tiles, else return p2 tiles, and then we can do tg.get own tiles player. And the problem with this, though, is that it's going to technically show the next players when I print this, because I guess I can do it right before I do this. So we'll do it like this. That should display the current players' tiles. So if I end the turn, it says I have 0. Oh. That was stupid. That was stupid. So I decremented P1 tiles. So I needed to basically save these somewhere anyways. So we'll do, we can actually just do, I'm trying to think how we can return this. Okay, sorry about that. But, so anyways, what I was saying, I don't know where I cut it out there, but what I was saying is that we can just assign them to a number, so we don't have to do, we can decrement these ones and still have another one to pull from. So we can just do like int p1 owned equals 0, int p2 owned. There's a bunch of people talking in the background. And then we'll do p1 owned equals p1 tiles, p2 owned equals p2 tiles. Why are they talking so loud in the background? Literally like right outside my door. And then we'll return p1 owned, or we'll increment p1 owned and p1 or p2 owned. So I guess I technically ended up needing to make a second variable anyway, so this wasn't completely worth it. But all right. So now this should give you the exact number of each one. So there's 27, 27, 27, 27. Let's just make sure. And then we'll attack. We'll say, oh, wow. Okay. We'll attack. Now it should be 28 and then 20. Oh, okay. One other thing. So that means if we're incrementing one of them, we decrement the other. So we'll do something like P2 owned minus minus. And then we'll do P1 owned minus minus here. So now that should increment or decrement based on how many tiles each one has. So it should always stay at a cap. So then 27 versus 25. Yeah. So that's right, because they lost a tile and then the other one gained a tile. So yeah, okay. So whose turn is it? Yeah. Okay. 28, 24. Yeah, okay. And then what we want to do is base our dice distribution on that number. So we can do something like, where am I at here? Base the dice distribution on, so that we can do like num dice distributed. We'll set a minimum to like 5 and then add whatever additional amount from there. So we can do int total dice, and we'll just keep reusing this. We'll keep reusing this object, or this number, because we only need it once for each side, so we don't have to have like a P2 total dice, P1 total dice type of thing. Oh, I keep burping. So what we want to do here is maybe say total dice equals tg.get owned tiles, but we want to actually do this before we swap. So we'll do, I guess we could have just set it to 1, because this is going to always be 1, but just to be safe in case I end up adding more player functionality later, we don't want to do that. Actually, we could just do it like this outside, because we have to use it both times anyways. So now we have the total dice, and then we'll say, or no, that's total tiles, but now we want to base the total dice on that. So let's say there's a baseline of 5, so we'll say 5 plus int math dot, or we'll say it's based on 20% of your total tiles. So we'll say 5 plus, we'll do a baseline of like 3, because you're always going to get some if you're not, completely out of the game, and I don't want to give too many, so we can modify this, of course, but 3 plus int tg.getOwnedTiles player times 0.2, and then we will actually put these in parentheses. Oh no, we don't want to do it on 20%. We want to do maybe like 70%. I said it backwards actually. And then let's print the player and the total dice they would get distributed. And then after this, I'm going to stop. But next one, I would obviously, next episode, I'll talk about how I would be actually distributing them, and then that should work out fine. So then we'll do total dice, and then this will decide how many they get. So if you end your turn without taking a single turn, you would get 19 dice. Okay, it's a little much, I think, but maybe not, because we also have a bigger map than the other one. The other one was giving like 15, but we kind of have a bigger map, so it'll always give 20% or 0.7 or whatever. So whose turn is it? Player 2. So if I do something like this, I don't know. I keep thinking green is the attack or the enemy, even when it's not. So if I start conquering some things, let's just start taking over some tiles and see if I can get a little bit of a lead over purple. Just take whatever tiles I can. 5v5. Ooh. This is actually pretty fun though. Like, I like this. This is like, it's just a fun little game to do. Alright, so now green has a bunch more tiles. So they will now get 26. And the other side will only get 14. I might also want to do some sort of a bias in, for example, like if you're down, because this is just going to snowball. You're going to get more dice since you have more land, and it's going to snowball out of control, I feel like. But I think we're okay. We also, we have to figure out, we might actually have to get the value or the number of the total number of dice like we have, and find what the cap would be. Because, for example, let's say I have 3 tiles and they all have 6 or whatever. I'm gonna set the cap maybe to 8. I don't know. I have it at 6 now just because that was what I did. But let's say all 3 of my tiles I own are at 8 or 6, we'll say 6 because that's the cap now. So let's say they're all three set at 6. I don't want to be distributed a bunch more dice because I can't physically go higher than what I have. So I need to have some sort of um, capping mechanic on the total number of dice. But we'll stop there. We'll just give it a rest. I think I made a good bit of progress. We can alternate players now, and we have the framework in order to start distributing the dice after each turn. So thanks for watching. I will see you in the next one.